Commanders hire Dan Quinn to match with their new general manager, Adam Peters, to lead this franchise into the future.
The way that we live is not for everybody, okay? It's not, all right? Because we're going to run and put our bodies on people in a violent manner.
Whether the team is giving us the highest of highs or the bluest of blues, we'll cover it all here on Commanders Nightly News. I, of course, am your host, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. Let's get to tonight's lead story. So, had a chance to watch the Steelers film with the mob, kind of put a nice, pretty bow on that game. And now we can fully turn our attention to the Philadelphia Eagles. But upon further review, there are a couple of things that stood out from the game. Obviously, man, it was tough to watch that game over again. Seeing all the opportunities that we had to score 40 in that game and to leave all of those points on the field. Clearly, it was Jaden Daniels' worst performance of his career. And again, he still was really good in the game. It's crazy watching it back and just seeing how many opportunities that were left on the field due to drops. Jaden missing a couple of throws. Us just not executing in that third quarter into the fourth. We squandered such great field position. The sack that he took, I was really disappointed in his decision to try to spin back to his left. He should have just kept outside. That was a missed opportunity. The penalties that we had to negate big gains, like the throw he had to Noah Brown. I think my biggest takeaway, though, because I think I said this last week and it came to fruition. I'm saying it again this week. Terry's going to get one-on-one coverage. I think the Eagles are just as cocky and arrogant as the Pittsburgh Steelers were in giving him one-on-one looks. They're going to try to pressure him. You heard Eagles fans talking about, oh, the blueprint is out there. The Eagles were able, the Steelers were able to do this, that, and the third. They blitzed, they rushed 5 guys, which is technically a blitz, 19 times in the game, which is that's by far and away the most pressure we've seen anybody come after Jaden Daniels with this season, which is fine. But there were opportunities behind that blitz. Guys were wide open, and we didn't take advantage of it. However, the biggest thing that I saw that I didn't like that needs to change is he had Terry one-on-one a ton and open, and he didn't go to Terry. And that is not okay for me. He, I think, is more comfortable throwing to Noah Brown than he is Terry. That has to change. Because anytime Terry gets one-on-one, he's running an in-breaking route, Terry gets one-on-one on the outside. He's comfortable throwing to Terry on the deep ball. How many times have we seen them connect on that? Had a beautiful deep ball to Terry in the game against the Steelers, right? Anytime he gets one-on-one with Terry on the outside on the go ball, he's going to Terry, right? And we've seen him go to Terry on these slants, and they've been connecting there. And him and Terry are building that rapport. I need them to take it to that next level because Terry was open over the middle of the field at least 3 or 4 times in this game for big gains, not for 12 yards, not for 16. I'm talking 30, 40-yard gains potentially if he hits Terry and he's going to Noah Brown or he's going to Zach Ertz and he's going in a different direction than Terry, and that's not okay. When 17 gets one-on-one, trust 17. We got guys dropping passes. We got guys not making 5 right. Terry's going to make you right. So if there's any doubt and you see one-on-one with Terry, I'd rather throw to Terry covered one-on-one than some of these dudes open. Because I still trust that 17 is going to make a play for me. But that wasn't even the case. 17 was open. So get him the ball. And I think Jaden's got to get out of that habit of, hey, I'm going to go to Noah because Noah's got the second best corner on him, and I know Noah's going to win that matchup. No. Go to Terry. Go to 17. That was the biggest takeaway in the game was, hey, if teams are dumb enough to give us one-on-one, they think their corner is good enough to run with Terry McLaurin one-on-one, go to 17, bro. Go to 17. But overall, frustrating way to lose that game in the fashion that we did. The defense had opportunities. When we took that 24-14 lead, the defense had 2 opportunities to get off the field on that next possession and give it back to the offense who had scored on 3 straight possessions, 2 straight touchdowns, and a field goal prior to that. They were cooking on offense, and the defense not getting a stop I call it a shutdown, drive, not getting a stop on that drive after the Commanders had double dipped and scored at the end of the first half, beginning of the second half. That was huge because it allowed Pittsburgh to stay in the game when we could have turned their lights out. We had an opportunity to. Defense didn't give us that chance. But then after that, the defense gave us ample opportunities to push this game out of reach. And we just failed to do it. Ample opportunities. I'll tell you this right now. Now there were some open receivers in some situations where I'm like, if that's the Eagles, we in trouble. Can't do that shit against Philadelphia. But we can get the same type of defensive output in terms of limiting the passing yards, the completion percentage. I'd like to see us be a little bit better on third downs, but we weren't terrible in the game. We were 7 of 16. We kept the Steelers to 7 of 16. That's less than 50%. You'd like to see that be a little bit less than that. But if you tell me you're going to give me the same type of defensive output that you gave me, we're going to win the game against the Eagles. We're going to win the game. You can win with that type of defensive effort. But we got to clean up the mistakes, obviously. And that's not who we've been this season. Got to clean up those mistakes. This game on Thursday, as we transition to Thursday Night Football against the Eagles, this game feels like the beginning of what could turn into a budding rivalry. The Eagles are young. We're young. I feel like this has the makings of, Ali Frazier, like that sort of thing. You know what the Ravens Steelers have been? Looks like they might be going back down that road again this year with both teams being really good, looking like the class of those two teams, looking like the class of that division. And they're going to battle it out down the stretch. They're playing this week as well. How anticipatory that matchup has been in the NFL. Like when you talk about the biggest rivalries in the NFL, you're talking Steelers-Ravens is one of the games that's going to probably roll off your tongue first. This feels like the beginning of maybe something that could be forming, right? I can't speak to any of you and how you feel. I think I could speak for you here, but I'm not going to because I don't like to do that. But I want this game worse than any game I can remember in recent memory. I want this one bad. Now, if we don't get it, I'm not going to be distraught or anything. We play them again, right? I would be a little bit more like despondent if we lost and this game was at home. Because now you're putting yourself in a position where you got to go to Philadelphia and try to go get a win later on to avoid the sweep. I love that we're going into Philadelphia first so that the second time around, they got to come see us. I love that. You understand that next year, we're going to have 5 primetime games. Depending on what they decide to do with Thanksgiving, might be a 6th if we play Dallas on Thanksgiving. You are aware of this, right? You do know what we are now. I call teams with 5 primetime games 5-star, teams. We are officially a 5-star attraction. You do realize that, right? And you do realize that next year we will be playing the Philadelphia Eagles on primetime again. Might be at home next time. We'll see. Might be in Philadelphia again. But you do understand that this is the beginning of something big. This Eagles Commanders thing is about to become a thing. You do realize that, right? I'm excited. I can't speak for any of you. I am excited. Somebody said this on the one, head-to-head stream with me and LB, but this is going to be a movie. This feels like a movie. And I can't wait to see the twists and the turns and how the plot goes. And I can't wait to see how we handle the ending. It's a big spot for JD5. This is a big spot for this team. Where else would you rather be as a Commanders fan? Where else would you rather be at 8:15 tomorrow than sitting in front of your TV, playing against the Philadelphia Eagles with first place on the line in week 11. This ain't week 4. This ain't week 3. This is week 11, and we playing for first place. Like, if that shit don't get you going as a fan, I can't help you. This is what it's all about. And whether we win this game or we come up short, I ain't gonna flinch. I'll be excited as hell, jumping through the damn roof, talking mega shit and trash. But it's not the end of the season. They got to come see us again. And if they lose this game, guess what? They gonna like, we gonna get y'all ass in Washington in December. Right? And it's vice versa. They get us, hey, y'all gotta come see us. We get this 10-day layoff, come back, dispose of Dallas, and then we go from there, right? But I already told y'all how I feel. I've already told y'all. Whether we win this game tomorrow or not, I don't plan on losing again the remainder of the season. We haven't lost 2 games in a row this entire season. Every time we've lost a game, it's been followed by a win streak. And I think this is going to be the longest win streak of the season. Because I think we about to finish up with 7 straight victories. But I'm taking them one at a time. But this team is different. And I know it sounds crazy from 4-13. Somebody in the comment section yesterday said, man, from 4-13 to 14-3 is crazy work. You damn right it is. That shit ain't supposed to happen. But when you got one of them ones, the impossible is possible. The sky is the limit. We ain't got no ceilings. We ain't got no roof. We riding with the top down. We George Jefferson strolling on them. The roof gone. Because we got one of them ones. They don't understand that. They are underestimating what 5 is. Oh, there's a blueprint. Okay, show me. Show me the blueprint. When you got one of them ones, it ain't no blueprint. Ain't no blueprint for defending Josh Allen. The only thing you can say is, don't let him roll out to his right. Flush him left. That's the only thing you can say about it. But even then, he's still dangerous. Ain't no blueprint for one of them ones. It ain't no blueprint for Joe Burrow. It ain't. Ain't no blueprint for Patrick Mahomes. And I know some people are like, man, it's too early for you to be putting him in. I know what I know. My eyes aren't deceiving me. Ain't no blueprint for stopping 5. You just got to hope that we stop ourselves. Vic Fangio is going to pose some threats. He's going to do some things schematically to try to confuse the young fella. Make him see one thing, change it up. I hope they do a good enough job of preparing Jaden for some of those looks. They're going to walk a guy down, drop him. It's going to look like cover 3, but it's really cover 4. I hope he's prepared for all of that. The biggest thing that we got to be able to do, and I'm so happy, and I told y'all this, and again, I said this yesterday, y'all going to start listening to me eventually because I told you Marshawn Lattimore wasn't playing until Dallas. And I told you B-Rob would be back. Looks like Andrew Wiley will be back. We'll get into all of the particulars of the injury report and what was said by Dan Quinn at his presser. We'll get into that here. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and transition to in other news right now as we are speaking on that subject matter. Let's get to what DQ had to say. But before we do that, let's take a look at the final injury report for both teams heading into this massive Thursday night football clash between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders for first place in the NFC East and all the bragging rights that you can stand. Let's take a look at the injury reports, starting first with the good guys. So out of this game will be Nick Bellore, Marshawn Lattimore, and Austin Seibert, which I told you, those are the only 3 with excuse notes, right? Those are the only 3 with doctor's notes that allow them to be out of this game. Everybody else, I said, all hands on deck. I thought Cornelius Lucas would have been a part of that group, and he still might be. He's not out of the woods yet, but if you listen to DQ, everybody, Wiley and Lucas both went through practice today, and they felt good about what they saw from those guys. But again, they're going to take it up to game time with them to see if they can go or not. But to see all three of those tackles as questionable, not just all the way through and feeling good, that's a problem onto itself. But I expect all three of those dudes to be ready to go tomorrow because it's all hands on deck. And then you'll have 10 days after this to get right, to feel better, right? To get all the treatment you need to be ready to go through those final 2 games prior to the bye. And then you'll get 14 days between your next game, and you can really start to lick your wounds and get back right for this stretch run. But I need all hands on deck. I need everybody ready to go. And that's a big 10-4 for Brian Robinson Jr. He changes this offense. I don't think any of us now can understate or overstate. I don't think you can do either. The importance of a Brian Robinson Jr. to this offense, especially the run game. And, we knew how good of a running back he was, and we knew how special he was in terms of his impact on the offense. We knew that, but we really have felt it because in our 2 worst, rush games of the season against Baltimore and Pittsburgh, he didn't play. And we felt the lack of physicality against Baltimore. And there were a lot of runs that I pointed out to the mob. If that's B-Rob, that run doesn't end there, right? That run doesn't end there. So, man, is he going to be a sight for sore eyes on the field? Hopefully everything goes well with him waking up tomorrow, going through warm-ups and pregame, and he's all ready to go because we need him. We need him. He's a massive part of this offense. And against the Eagles defense that's been really good against the run, we need our 2-headed monster. We need our 2-headed monster back. 3, if you count Jaden Daniels. We need it back in full effect. So Coleman, Lucas, and Wiley, all questionable. Everybody else, not on the injury report, all systems go. Love to hear it. But that was to be expected, right? Now you go from the good guys to the ops. And honestly, everybody is going to play for the Eagles, which is what we expected. Devontae Smith, I think, is going to play. Will he be limited with a hamstring? We'll see. Hamstrings are really tricky. But if he couldn't go, then they wouldn't put him out there. So as far as I know, everyone's playing. And here's the big kicker. Jordan Mailata, their, extremely gifted and talented left tackle, is back off of IR. He was dealing with a hamstring. They activated him today, and he will play on Thursday, which I was hoping to get Fred Johnson. I really was hoping to get my crack at him. He'd been struggling, and I was hoping to get a couple swings at him on Thursday night. Obviously, that's not going to happen now, and so it is what it is. I want no excuses. They got all of their guys. Now let's just go out and ball, right? And let's just see where the chips fall where they may. But we going out, we're gonna leave it all out in the field. And I've never had this much confidence in a group in this, this iteration of the team. I've never had this kind of confidence. Like I said, probably gotta go back to like the 05 team. Is the last time I had like confidence in what we were going to get from a product standpoint. And really that was more so the defense, not the offense. Right. But 2012 felt good, but we didn't know exactly what we were going to get out of the defense that year. It's kind of the same thing here, but this is a much better coach team. And this, to me, is a mentally tougher team. But the same thing. I remember I had Logan Paulson on the summer series, right? And he said there was just this inherent belief in Robert, and they felt like they could beat anybody because of what Robert brought to the table. That is what this team has, an inherent belief that they can beat anybody because they got 5. And this looks a lot different than Robert than in his rookie season. And Robert was spectacular that year. But this looks even different than that. And I just feel like Jaden is ready to get back to being Jaden. And I think with B-Rob coming back, man, I like our chances. I know the Eagles have been playing good defense. They ain't seen an offense like ours. We've seen good defenses this year. The Bears were a good defense. You know, the Cardinals were a good defense when we saw them. The Ravens were a good defense when we saw them. They've gotten worse as the season is going on, but they were supposed to be a good defense when we saw them, right? The Steelers were supposed to be a good defense when we just saw them, right? We should have scored 40. We should have scored 40. We've seen some good defenses this year. None of them were rated as high as this Eagles defense, but the Eagles haven't been tested this year. We will be their first true test since probably Tampa. And we saw what happened in that game. But again, that's a long time ago. They're a different defense since then. Since they've been rejuvenated and they've been reborn defensively, they ain't seen nobody. They playing against Cooper Rush, Jacksonville, Cleveland. Like, these are the teams they've been playing against. The Giants. Like, I respect what they've done and the turnaround that they've made, but understand they've seen no one like us. They ain't seen nobody like 5. They ain't seen one of them ones. They saw Joe Burrow. But they ain't seen an offense like this. We a machine. All we got to do is be well-oiled on Thursday and watch them go to work. I like our chances in this game a lot. And so we heard from DQ. And he talked about this was the quickest I've seen DQ get in and out. And I want to say it was because they had a flight to catch because they were going to Philadelphia today. So it was a 4-minute in and out presser. Literally, captains, offensive captain this week is Zach Ertz. Go figure, he's playing his former team. Defensive captain is... Who is the defensive captain this week? I forgot that quick. Don't even remember who the defensive captain is this week. No. Mike Samerstill is the defensive captain. And then the special teams captain is Jeremy McNichols. I thought they should have given it to Percy Butler personally because Percy played his ass off on special teams last week, but that's nor here nor there. So those were the captains. He talked about the injury situation. He said, Nick Ballore, Marshawn Lattimore, and Austin Seibert won't play. Everybody else should be able to go, but, they'll take some of those guys up to game time, test them out, make sure they're fine. But everybody else should be able to go. He talked about Brian Robinson Jr. He said, no, we pushed him today, because Brian Robinson Jr. Talked to the media yesterday. A lot of guys talked to the media yesterday. Bobby Wagner, Terry McLaurin, Dante Fowler Jr., among others. A lot of guys were available to the media yesterday. And B-Rob was one of them. And he was like, I haven't run full speed yet. Well, that changed today. They took off the bubble wrap. They had him go out there and cut it loose to see how he would feel. And he felt good. And again, how does he feel tomorrow when he gets up? All of that good stuff. But they cut him loose and everything looked good. And boy, is this going to be a welcome addition back to this offense. We've missed him a lot. Right, we've missed him a lot. So him being back is huge, and he talked about that. He talked about what the Eagles are doing, and he talked about their defense with Vic Fangio and how Vic is doing a lot of things schematically, pre-snap, trying to confuse quarterbacks, and those guys are flying around. Their young defensive backs are playing well. They got big defensive tackles that can move, and that helps. He talked about the offense. He's like, we know who they are offensively. The past concepts have changed a little bit with Kellen Moore there this year, but they know what they like to do for the most part. And now it's a matter of, can we stop it? Right? They got Saquon Barkley. We know what kind of an animal he is and kind of problems he poses. We know A.J. Brown. We know Devontae Smith. We know Dallas Goedert. We know all of the names. We know all of the threats that they pose. We know Jalen Hurts. We know the offensive line. We know all of these things. Now, can you go out and find a way to devise a scheme that slows them down, stops them, makes them uncomfortable, and you can make enough plays to try and win the game? And that's essentially where we at with it, right? So we'll see if that takes place or not. So now let's transition to behind enemy lines. The Eagles are a good team. Don't fool yourself into thinking that they're not. They're a good team. They've been here before. Like LB did make a point here that he said, this ain't our first time playing in a game like this. They do this. They've been doing this, right? He's spot on. Facts, right? This is what they do. They've played in many of these games. This is foreign territory for us. Are we going to be scared? Hell no. Nah. And there are guys in that locker room that have played in big games, plenty of big games. But has this particular group? No. The biggest game we have right now, week 2, and we rose to that occasion. And here's what I think needs to be done. And I told LB about this. I think we need to come in with the same mindset we had against Cincinnati in week 3, which was we know we're going to have to outscore Joe Burrow in the Cincinnati Bengals, and kicking field goals and being, passive aggressive and not going for it on 4th down. That ain't going to get the job done. We're going to have to be aggressive. We're going to have to push the envelope. We're going to have to go and score touchdowns. We can't settle for a bunch of field goals. I need to see the Commanders from early this season who threw caution to the wind and were aggressive at every turn and pressed all of the right buttons and made all of the big plays. We've evolved as an offense. We've come a long way, but in that regard, I feel like we've gone backwards. We're not as aggressive. This is one of those games where I need DQ to lock in and say, nah. If we going down swinging aggressively. We won't go meekly into the night. We go down in this game, we go down on our terms. I want to see if it's 4th and 3 at the Eagles' 47-yard line. Obviously, that's an easy go for it. That's been a punt here lately, right? We saw that against Baltimore. We punted that football. I want to see us be aggressive. I want to see us push the envelope. Hell, if it's 4th and 5 from the Eagles' 48, you damn near at midfield. I won't go for that. and that might be a punt. And if it is, I'm okay with that. But if it's 4th and 3 from the Eagles' 45, I need that to be, hey, we got green light. We need to go for that. We at the Eagles' 33-yard line, and it's 4th and 2. Yeah, that's field goal range, but I'm not looking for a field goal. I want a touchdown. And I'm not trying to put Zane Gonzalez in a position where he's kicking 50 and 51-yard field goals if I don't have to. We end up going for it and we get it, and we end up with a 4th and 9 from the Eagles 17, then you got to kick the field goal. But I'm trying to be aggressive in this game. They haven't been tested since week 4. They were on a bye week in week 5. They ain't been tested since week 4 when they lost to Tampa. Cleveland, Jacksonville, Giants, Bengals, Cowboys. Show me the team that tested them. They're going to get one on Thursday. We're going to see if they're ready to pass this test or not. And the same for us. This is our biggest test of the season because it's family business and we staring the bully in the face. They got what we want. They got what we want. They standing in the way of what we want. And that's NFC East supremacy. We think this is our division. This shit belongs to us. Go take it. Go take it. Ain't going to be easy, and they not going to hand the shit to us. But if you want it, you got to go take it. And I see us being a team that's willing to go and take what we want. Let's talk about some of the numbers surrounding these two teams heading into this game. And we start with the good guys. We're fourth in total offense, 377 yards per game. Scoring offense, again, we're averaging almost 30 points a game, 29 points per game for the Commanders. Like, we ain't had a 30-piece in what feels like forever. Probably got to go back to the Carolina game, right? And I know people keep bringing up, well, we took knees at the 1-yard line versus the Giants, yada, yada, yada. That's cool, but we ain't scored 30. We had chances. We didn't score 30 in that game. We had every opportunity. We had 24 points with about 10 minutes left in the third quarter, and we somehow managed to not score 30 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So many opportunities. That game is so frustrating. Watching that film was maddening. But we still third in the league with 29 points per game. Got the 11th pass offense in the NFL at 223.5 yards per game. We've allowed the 11th least amount of sacks, 21 sacks on the season. Rush offense, we've got the fourth best rush offense in the league at 153.5 yards per game. We got the fifth best third down offense at 44.7. That's been going down every week. We got to get better, right? We got to get better on third downs. And the way you get better on third downs is you be better on first and second downs. We were really good in early down situations against the Giants a couple weeks ago. We weren't good against the Steelers in first and second downs. We put ourselves in a lot of long yard situations because we didn't do our work on first and second down against the Steelers. That's why we found ourselves punting. There were opportunities that were missed on first and second down consistently, especially in the second half. We had a third and short to start the game, and he missed Olamide Zaccheaus. And so we got to get back to being better on third down offensively. We're fifth in the league right now. Total defense, we're 14th, give up 325 yards per game. Scoring defense, we're 12th in the league, giving up 21.7 points a game, which is actually pretty impressive. But again, we haven't played the stiffest competition. But for us to be 12th in scoring defense, I mean, I think all of us would have signed up for that before the season started. I thought this defense was going to be really good. I was wrong about that. Dead ass wrong. I thought the defense was going to carry this team. Remember? We found out real quick, though. Real quick, we found out. Got a cold splash of reality that hit us in our face about week 2 when we realized, I think it might have even happened in week 1 against Tampa, but we were like, the Giants game was like, okay, yeah, no, this defense is ass. Pass defense, we're 5th in the NFL. We give up 183 yards per game through the air. What? That's crazy talk. Because none of us feel like this is the 5th best pass defense in football. But when you think about it, Jeremy Chin has been really good. Quan Martin has been really good. Noah Igbenogany has been really good. And Frozone, Mike Sainristil has been really good. It's really been Benjamin St. Juste that's been the liability. So pass defense really isn't as bad as everybody makes it out to be. But all hands on deck this week because you're playing a team that is dynamic with their receivers, right? Sacks, tied for 9th in the NFL with 27 of them. I've been really impressed with the pressure we've been able to generate here of late. Dorrance Armstrong always feels close. Dante Fowler Jr. is a menace. So is Frankie Louvu. I'd like to see some more interior pressure. I don't feel like we get enough of that. Deron, this would be a great game for Deron Payne to step the hell up, make some shit shake. What did he have? 1 sack this season, if that? I would love to see Deron make some shit shake in this game. Somebody from the defense. Sheldon Day, he been playing his ass off. Johnny Newton, you want to atone for the mistake? This is the perfect time to do it. I need to see some interior. Jalen Hurts don't like, no quarterback likes interior pressure, but Hurts especially don't like interior pressure. Right? He can run around and slip out the back door. When you get interior pressure on him, he usually just falls down on the ground. He don't even try to fight it. Rush defense, obviously, this is our Achilles heel. We're 28th in the league, giving up 142 yards per game on the ground. That's the thing that scares me the most in this game. You want to ask me what's the thing that I am most afraid of in this game, and I'll tell you without hesitation, it's Saquon Barkley in the Eagles run game. Yep, they got A.J. Brown. Yep, they got Smitty. Yep, they got Dallas Goedert. Yep, they got Jahan Dotson. Yep, they got guys they can throw the football to. I'm aware. Don't care. The shit that scares me the most is Saquon Barkley's ability to break a big run on this defense. If we can contain him, man, I swear to you, we got a shot in this game. We not number 5 in pass defense for no reason. I know we haven't played the best quarterbacks, but all the quarterbacks we played aren't trash. Kyler Murray is having a career year right now. He didn't against us. Russell Wilson is playing really well. He wasn't great against us. He played well, but we held him to 50% completion percentage and less than 200 yards passing. And we picked him off once. He threw 3 touchdown passes. Got to give him that. But he wasn't completely comfortable. Lamar had a good day. Lamar had a good day against us. You know, but we've held our own this season for the most part. We've held our own. So if we can stop the run, we'll have a shot defensively. Third down defense, 22nd in the league, 41, roughly 42%. Not great. Not where you wanted to be, but it's a far cry from where it was earlier in the season when we were dead last and by a mile. So we've come a long way. But we still got a lot of work to do on third downs. And a lot of that stems from what can you get done on first and second down to set up third and long. And then we got to be better. We've been better, I think, of late on third down and long, of getting to the quarterback, frustrating him, making it a little bit tough. But we got to get better at that too, because we've had some third and longs, and we've allowed teams off the hook. Time of possession, we're 15th. We used to be one of the best in time of possession. The Steelers kicked our ass in time of possession. I mean, damn, they killed us in time of possession. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. So we're no longer a time of possession juggernaut. You know, we're basically average. We're 15th in the league right now with 30 minutes and 27 seconds. And then turnover differential, it continues to climb. Ball is life. Every week, we're adding another one to the left-hand column, right? In the plus category, we were +5, excuse me, going into the game. We turned it over once. We forced 2 turnovers, a forced fumble, and a interception. And so we added another one. We're now +6, tied for 7th in the league in turnover differential. That is how you win in this league, by forcing turnovers and taking care of the ball. And we're one of the best teams that take care of the football this season. And that definitely needs to continue in this game. So now let's get to the ops, the Philadelphia Eagles. So in total offense, they're 6th, 374 yards per game. Scoring offense, they're scoring 26 points a game, so they're tied for 7th. So they're starting to get their act together offensively. Pass offense, they're 20th in the league at 198 yards per game. Sacks allowed, 23rd in the league at 27. Jalen Hurts will take sacks. He will take sacks. And if you hit him right, he will fumble the football as well, as he did last week against Dallas. So that is something that we need to try to exploit. Rush offense, this is the shit that scares me, and it should scare you too. They're the second best rush offense in football at 176 yards per game. That's a lot of damn yards on the ground per game. And, a lot of it is Saquon Barkley. Obviously Jalen Hurts does his thing from time to time, but a lot of that shit is Saquon Barkley. He has been a menace this season. And that, to me, is the key going into the game is you have to be able to control Saquon Barkley. Third down offense, they're 15th in the NFL. So at 39% roughly. That's an advantage for us. Their third down offense isn't great. Is mid. Our third down defense is below average. It's mediocre at best at 22nd. But because they're not great on third downs, that it gives us an advantage that we might be able to slow them down. If they were really good, like the Ravens were one of the best third down offensive teams, and we struggle against them. Those are the teams that we struggle against, the ones that are really exceptional on third downs. We struggle with them. They're not one of those teams. So hopefully we can slow them down enough to give us a chance on, third downs. And again, they're a team that'll go for it on fourth down. So if it's 3rd and 7 and you give up 6 they're going for it on 4th and 1. You got to be mindful of that. This ain't one of those games. Just get the stop and you're forced to punt. You're dealing with a different type of animal here. Like holding them to 5 yards on 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 7 ain't good enough. Total defense, they're second. This is why LB and Eagles fans right now are beating their chests, because defensively, they're second in the league in total defense. 274 yards per game given up. Scoring defense, they're tied for 5th. They're only giving up 18 points a game. Again, they ain't seen nobody like us. We averaging damn near 30. They giving up 18. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. Pass defense, 3rd in the league. They're giving up 173 yards per game. Again, we're not looking to light up the passing yard statistic. We're just looking to do enough. We like to be balanced. We like to run it. We like to throw it. Jaden usually doesn't have 30 some odd yard, attempts. He's usually in the 20s, right? If we do what we're supposed to do, Jaden will have like 27, 28 attempts passing. And if we do it right, he'll be 24 of 28. He'll be 23 of 27 if we do it right. But we ain't had one of those in a while. I'm looking for one of those. Sacks, they're tied for 11th with 27. So I think we're a little bit better than them in that department. They've been coming on here of late. But again, they've been playing a lot of bum-ass quarterbacks, bum-ass offenses that have allowed them to get their shit off. So we'll see. And this, you can say the same about us, but because we've played a tougher schedule, we had to sack Lamar Jackson twice. We had to sack Kyler Murray 3 times. Like, I respect our shit a little bit more than theirs. Just going to keep it a bean with you. Right? We had to sack Russell Wilson 3 times. It's a little bit different than sacking Cooper Rush, if you know what I mean, right? Rush defense, 5th in the NFL, giving up just over 100 yards a game. I think we can run on them. So you have to pick and choose your spots when you're going to run. Like, to me, you don't want to get into a tight formation and run up the middle against them, right? They're too big, they're too physical, they're too stout. I don't think that's a smart thing to do. I think you could really get them to sell out, get into a tight formation, and then go, a boot, play action fake boot, and get them to sell out and get Jaden out on the edge. I think you could do that and have some success. But to just line up and say mano a mano, let's power through these dudes, you got to spread them out and run the ball, and we're going to do that. I don't think it's a smart thing to get in a tight formation and announce to them, hey, we running the ball, and challenge them. They're really good at stopping you when you do that. I think you got to spread them out and make them run. Not that they're a slow defense by any stretch of the imagination, but if you can spread them out and make them run, I think you're going to have opportunities. And I think we'll have – look, put it this way. The Cowboys ran the football on them. All right, Rico Dowdle, go watch the game. Rico Dowdle was having success against the Philadelphia Eagles on the ground. The only problem was they had nothing off of that. Rico Dowdle was having success. We can run on these boys. And if we can run, then we can throw. Third down defense, 34.7 yards, 34.7% on third downs. They're good for 11th in third down defense. So it's going that's going to be a hell of a test because we're the 5th best third down offense and they're the 11th best third down defense. Something's got to give. They're good on third downs. We're good on third downs. Something got to give. Time of possession, they're 5th in the league. And this is what you don't want to do is you don't want to get into a time of possession dick measuring contest with the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what you don't want to do. Because I've seen them go up in a game by, 6, get the ball, and then go on a 6-minute drive to put the game away. I've seen them do that multiple times throughout the Jalen Hurts era in Philadelphia. Like, don't put yourself in a position where they can milk the clock and they just need to run the ball. Like, that's not our strength either. Stopping the run late in games, that's not what we do. So you don't want to get into a time of possession match with them. Find ways to score and put them on their heels to where they're not controlling the pace of the game, right? And then turnover differential, they haven't been clean this year, right? They are a turnover type of team. The only reason that they're not in the negative here is because they played Dallas. Think about it from this perspective. They were +3 in the turnover category against Dallas. Dallas turned it over 5 times. The Eagles turned it over twice. They were +3, and now they're +1 on the season. Before that, they were -2 in the turnover differential. They turned the ball over. Jalen Hurts had another red zone turnover in that game, right? Threw an interception in the end zone. It was a great play by Trayvon Diggs. I don't think any of our corners are making that play, by the way. Not now, at least. Maybe Marshawn Lattimore might be able to make that play, but none of our corners that are currently on the field are making that play. But we can force turnovers against them, and we need to take care of the ball, and we have been that type of a team taking care of the football this year. And if we continue to do those things, I like our chances, again, to do what we need to do to put ourselves in a position to win on the road against a tough Eagles football team, right? None of these numbers jump out and scare me, right? These defensive numbers look good, but I feel like these numbers have been padded by the competition that they've played. Now, these might be legit numbers, and we might find that out firsthand on Thursday night, and they might suffocate and smother us, right? That might be the case. But until I see it, I ain't buying it. Because ain't nobody really did that to us this year. The closest that I think a team might have come to doing that to us was the Steelers this past week, and we did it to ourselves. They held us to our lowest totals of the season in every statistical category almost, and we still scored 27 points, and we had opportunities to score way more. We would have had well over 300 yards. We would have had close to 400 yards. Just the Jaden Daniels to Luke McCaffrey play could have easily been 70 or 80 yards by itself. So nobody's really done nothing to us this year. The Bears, we outgained them. We had almost 400 yards of total offense against them. We had mistakes and penalties that limited us in that game. That's why I didn't show up on the scoreboard. And I don't see them doing the shit to us. So they're going to have to prove it to me because I ain't buying it. I'm just not. So we'll get out of here real quick. I ain't going to hold y'all hostage. Y'all been rocking with me pretty much all day. For y'all mob members, we were watching the film for about 3-4 hours earlier. Y'all just was rocking with me over on the NFC East Super Friends channel. So I ain't looking to hold y'all hostage tonight. We'll get in and out. But I want to give a big shout out to the mob. Y'all know what it is. Stand up. We in the building. Can't thank y'all enough for all the support that y'all have shown me, this channel, holding me down. This is big. This is big, man. And mob, I need y'all to show up tomorrow. We're going to be live watching the game together. And it's a big one. And I need y'all to ride with me. I might make, this might be a special one. I might turn the camera on this one. I don't know. I probably won't because I probably need to save my voice because win or lose, we probably looking at a 4-hour stream tomorrow. That's what it feels like. I'm not even going to kid myself. It's probably going to be a pretty long one tomorrow night. So I probably need to save my voice. But I'm going to be live on Bleacher Report for 30 first. you know, and then after that, I'm coming straight to y'all and we're going to dig in, right? If it's a win, you know what it is. If it's a loss, we're going to talk about it. But no matter what happens, we got 10 days off. And it's going to feel a hell of a lot better with a win than it will a loss. But the 10 days are invaluable to this roster. We are tired physically, mentally. We are beat up. We need this 10-day layoff, right? If we can get through it with a dub, what a boost that would be heading into those final 2 games prior to the bye against Dallas and Tennessee, right? We home for the next 2 after this against inferior opponents that we should be able to handle. So take care of this one, start a new win streak, and let's get this thing rolling, right? Big shout out to all my Patreon supporters as well, man. You guys are also the heartbeat and pulse of the Louie T Network, and I thank each and every single one of you as well. Mr. Ron B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Mr. Ron B writes, tomorrow night, Birdman hand rub. Let's go. You know what it is. It's on, man. Once again, it's on. You know what it is. I can't wait. I can't wait. Rush is Variety. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Rush is Variety. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, you can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him. JD is really that guy. P.S. I got to stop letting LB get under my skin. Yes, you do. He's an Eagles fan personified. Big game this week. It'll be rejuvenating to the momentum to get the dub. You got it. I had to learn not to let LB get under my skin. When you're passionate about something, it's easy to let somebody push your buttons. But I've learned how to deal with LB because I already know how he operates. So at the end of the day, I'm going to say my piece and then I'm going to move on. But make no mistake about it, I'm going to ride for mine just like he ride for his. And we're going to see what happens. He feels like his team, there's no way they're going to let a rookie quarterback come into their building and leave with a dub. And I'm saying, I'm looking at that squad and I'm saying, why not? Why we can't go in there and come out of there with a dubski? So we're going to find out what's what, right? I'm looking forward to finding a way to win. That's what this team has done this season, right? Last week was a blip, right? It sucked, but this team has found ways to win. I think they're learning, right? They're learning lessons. That one last week was a tough one, but I think it motivated them and it put them in a headspace to where they're going to go out with laser-like focus, understanding the assignment, understanding what's required, knowing what's on the line, and I think they're going to go get it done. Christopher McLaughlin, my guy, Chris, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, writes, hey, Lou, hope all is well with you and the family. Likewise. 3 questions. 1, with Philly's good defense, do you expect a high or low scoring game tomorrow and why? And 2 and 3, what one offensive and defensive play under the radar needs to step up tomorrow and why? So I think it's going to be a, relatively high scoring game. When I say that, like mid to high 20s, low 30s. I don't expect a shootout, 38 to 35 or nothing like that. Like we had with them last year twice. It was 2 pretty high scoring games. The first one was 34-31 in overtime. The second one was 38-31, I believe. I don't see that happening, but I do see some points being scored by both sides. I've already said that I think the score is going to be 31-27. So, that's a relatively high-scoring game by NFL standards, but it's not a shootout by any stretch of the imagination. But that's a relatively high-scoring game with a lot of fireworks and things of that nature. I think it's going to be something like that. I could see 29-22 or 29-24, some shit like that. 27-24. You can see something like that too. I don't see both teams getting in the 30s. I don't see that. Right. But it could turn into that, like it was if both teams are aggressive on fourth down and they're scoring touchdowns like we did against Cincinnati. It could turn into 38-33 like that game was. Right. But that's what I kind of see the game being. What one defensive and offensive player under the radar needs to step up tomorrow and why? Offensively, I think tomorrow feels like a Luke McCaffrey type of game. I really think Luke McCaffrey, because he is often open and we don't get on the football. And he had a drop last week, but he was open for the biggest play of the game, and JD missed him, right? So I think this is a Luke McCaffrey game. Like the Eagles aren't scouting Luke McCaffrey. He hasn't done anything this season to warrant them to pay attention to him as a playmaker. And I think a lot of teams sleep on Luke McCaffrey because he's a rookie and he hasn't, really done anything this season. He hasn't scored a touchdown. He hasn't had a massive game where you go, hey, we got to keep an eye on 12. So I think this could be the game where he has 4 or 5 catches for 70 some odd yards and maybe gets his first NFL touchdown this week. It feels like a good spot for him. The last time he was in this position, he had his best game against Cincinnati. So I could see Luke McCaffrey stepping up on the offensive side. On the defensive side, oh man. I talked about the defensive tackles and how they need to step up. I'll give you two. I'll give you two. Jalen Holmes has played really well, but inside, Sheldon Day has been really good. I like Sheldon Day and his activity. This could be a Johnny Newton game, but I'm going to say Sheldon Day inside could be a problem. And then don't sleep on Jalen Harris either. He's been really good since we got him. But Noah Igbenogany, the Eagles like to line their receivers up all over the field, inside, outside. A.J. Brown will go in the slot. Smitty will go in the slot. You might get a matchup where you covering Dallas Goedert, but most of the time, you're gonna have your safety covering the tight end. But sometimes, like last week, he was matched up on the tight end was Noah Igbenogany several occasions. So he might be matched up against Goedert. I think Noah Igbenogany is going to be challenged. They're going to put A.J. Brown. They're going to put Smitty in the slot, and he's going to have those guys, and he's going to have to play ball. And so he might have to step up too, right? So those are two guys in particular that I see as guys that are going to need to step up defensively. And I think this is a Luke McCaffrey type of game. I expect Terry to get his, because I really believe they're going to give Quinyon Mitchell a lot of that assignment by himself, because Quinyon really doesn't switch sides. He stays on that left side. Terry doesn't switch sides. Terry stays on that left side for the most part. So not that Terry can't go on the other side, but generally speaking this season, Noah Brown's lined up on the right side of the formation. Terry McLaurin's lined up on the left side. So can that change? Absolutely. We've seen Terry be on the right side of the formation. We've seen Terry go in motion to the right side. The wide receiver screen that he was supposed to catch in this game that De'Ami Brown jumped in front of him and took, that was on the right side of the formation. So it's not like Terry can't go over there, but think about all the plays that Terry's made this year. Most of them have been on the left side, right? The Cincinnati game, he had that one at the end of the game, the big catch, that was on the right side. But most of his damage, if you think about a lot of his big catches this season, been on the left side. So he's going to get Quinyon Mitchell. I think those opportunities are going to be there. This now is just taking advantage of them, right? See how good that young fella is. He's been playing lights out football. Let's see what he does against one of the best receivers in football. King of the Bluegrass, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. King of the Bluegrass, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, tomorrow night will be fun. I am so looking forward to tomorrow night. I can't even begin to explain to you the amount of excitement that I have. I'm going to be nervous. Right right around kickoff time, I'll have some butterflies. And as soon as they get the kickoff done, I'm going to be locked in. There will be no more butterflies. It'll be all about going and making a statement on Thursday Night Football in front of the entire nation for everybody to see. Like, we've done it once in week 3 when nobody thought it could be done. Hell, I didn't think it could be done. A lot of y'all told me that day, hey, we beaten Cincinnati. I was like, I don't know about that. But we did it. This one, I'm way more confident. But we still underdogs. People are still, not really buying what we're selling. And so I'm looking forward to seeing us defy the odds again. Go into Philadelphia. We've always played well there. We don't always find a way to win, but we play them close. Now I'm ready to turn the corner and go from playing them close to beating them. You want to start a rivalry? You want to make them like LB still don't really respect us. He's talking about belt to ass. He's talking about beating us by 2 scores and all that type. He don't respect us. He don't respect us. But then again, he don't respect nobody because even when Dallas was good, he used to talk that shit. Oh, we finna beat y'all by 2 scores and all that dumb shit. So we have to beat some sense into him. We have to beat some sense into him. And I can't think of a better way to in front of the whole goddamn own nation. So I'm really truly looking forward to this opportunity. King of the Bluegrass. It's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this game. I can say this. I don't know if I've ever looked forward to a game more as a fan. Again, the Giants game in 2022 after the bye was a big one, but that wasn't for first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, we weren't like one of the best teams in football that year. Like, legit, we are one of the best teams in football. We were in the top 5 of everybody's power ranking last week, and really, we shouldn't be out of anybody's top 7 right now. We're still top 7 in the league in terms of best teams in football. I looked at the power rankings. After losing to Pittsburgh, most people still have us in. Everybody's got us in the top 10 still. And most people still have us in the top 7. And to me, you should still have us in the top 7. If you watch my podcast, you've seen my power index. I got us at 7. We shouldn't be outside of 7 right now. So we're still one of the best teams in football. This one hits different. I can't remember a game where it was this much hype surrounding the game. It probably got to go to Thanksgiving 2016 against Dallas. We were 6-3. I think we were 6-3-1, and the Cowboys were like 8-1 at that time. 8-1, 9-1, something like that. And it was a big game, but we weren't on their level. We weren't on their level. But this is different. Like, this is one of the most anticipated games in recent memory for this fan base in a very, very long time. And unlike past times where we've been on prime time in spots that we felt good about or maybe didn't feel good about, where we would just ask the team to not embarrass us, those days are gone. Ain't nobody asking the team to not embarrass us tonight or tomorrow night. You saying, hey, go out there and prove to everybody why we are one of the best teams in football, why we the best team in the NFC East. Show JD5, show them why you one of them ones. They doubting that you one of them ones? Show them. They don't think our offense is what it is? Show them. I can't wait. Bart Scott. Can't wait. Anyway, I digress. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on Commanders Nightly News Live. I look forward to chopping it up with y'all tomorrow. So we will be live tomorrow. All right. It's probably going to be relatively early tomorrow. We will be live. We'll go through keys to the game, keys to victory, and all that stuff, both sides of the football. And I'll give you my prediction and score and more and all of that stuff tomorrow. So we will be live at some point. I wish I could give you a dedicated time, but it'll probably be sometime in the midday, early afternoon, because I also want to get off a podcast tomorrow as well, in addition to being live on Commanders Nightly News. So it'll be more like Commanders afternoon news tomorrow. It'll be relatively early, but we'll get into that tomorrow. So hopefully we'll see you guys for that as well. Tomorrow will be a hell of a day, be a lot of fun. I can tell you right now, I'm going to wake up feeling dangerous tomorrow. Can't speak for you, but I'm going to wake up feeling dangerous tomorrow. Hopefully the fellas feel the exact same way. But that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on Commanders Nightly News Live. You guys know what it is. Appreciate y'all for chopping it up with the kid. I look forward to doing this again with you tomorrow. And then, you know, we're going to be live tomorrow. All the way live. We all the way live. After the game has met its conclusion, I'm going to head over to Bleacher Report, drop a 30 spot on them. After I'm done there, I'm coming to y'all, and then we're going to kick it, and we're going to break all of it down. And hopefully we're talking about a win to improve the good guys to 8-3 for the first time since 1991 would be the last time we were that good in a season. You know what happened in 1991, right? So I digress. You guys have a good one. Take care. See you next time. Peace.